Hello everybody and welcome to Hunger for the Hustle. That's not a good start, is it? Oh, it's been a long day for us both. Hunger for the Hustle, episode 113, and I know we've already done 113, but this is part 2 because that was part 1. And me and my good man Jay here had so much to talk about, and we just thought it was part 2. You know, we needed part 2. We're both getting hungry, and the hour is getting late.
It was.
And the hour is now late again. And I'm looking.
It's trying to sort your hair out.
Yeah, it's been 8 weeks. It's been about 2 months in the process. Jay's a fantastic hairdresser. I was just literally saying to you, it's the only person I go to. I've just been like, yeah, just go and do your thing. Just do your thing. Yeah. Usually I'm like, oh, can you? And now that's like, I'm not sure about that. You know, but we lightly touched on it last time. You know, those Turkish barbers, stay away from them.
Definitely.
Jay, there's been a change in your aura since I last saw you, and that was actually, I think when we did the podcast was last time I saw you 5 weeks ago, around about the time.
Yeah, everyone's been saying it. I feel like a new man.
You look like one.
I've
already been asking the secrets.
Peace. I feel, and obviously there's reasons for that which I'll go into in a moment, but everything that's happened since then, you know, positive changes within my life that I needed to change, and the reasons were simple. I've got twins on the way, and I was making the wrong choices, and I was down a really slippery, dark path, and that person that I was before I went on this spiritual healing retreat was, you know, a completely different person to what's sitting here now. And straight away I'm drinking a bottle of water and not a bottle of beer, and that's because I've quit alcohol, which I never thought I'd do. Not because I've never needed to quit. I've always thought I'll do what I want. If anyone tries to tell me, I'll tell them to not tell me what to do, and I've always been that kind of guy where yeah, I've just always done what I wanted to do, and whether that was, you know, affecting other people, and that was, I think that's where I had to start really thinking, right, my actions are now affecting others. So yeah, man, like I've quit, like, and I thought I didn't have no faith in myself to quit because of the lifestyle that I've led for them, and a lot of my friends would probably say the same thing. They probably doubted how serious I was about it, until I put the status up to say, look, if you don't respect me and my decision to stop drinking, to better myself and strengthen myself for the future of not only me but my family.
And no doubt your businesses as well.
Yeah, my businesses, everything that was around me was a bad energy that I needed to let go of. And after the research that I'd done and the advice that I'd got from my friend Alex Maltby, to go on to this spiritual journey, I was already on the path.
Yeah.
You know, when I look back, certain things happened to really raise my awareness of the spiritual. I don't even know what the right. I'm no guru. I'm just like, I'm learning as I go.
Brand new to it.
I'm brand new to it.
And you're learning through your experience.
Yeah, my experience.
Which is the best way to learn.
And already, it's a beautiful feeling to feel at peace. And if somebody has suffered loss, trauma, addiction, anything that they're struggling with, I couldn't recommend, you know, go and experience what I've experienced, because it's completely changed me. Everything about me. I can breathe again. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing yoga. I'm not eating meat through the week, which is something that I've already been looking into for reasons. Like, I don't like I don't believe that it's good for us, what's coming out of them supermarkets, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's just, I believe my body, and I just want to give it what it needs, and I don't believe that, you know, organic, probably not from the government, from the supermarkets.
Your trouble is the government will supply them, mate.
Yeah, just make the diet as clean as you can, because it can weigh you down, and I think anything's like, even being full all the time. I learned, like, I've been listening to podcasts, and being full, it's not good for you. Like everything is just, it's stopping you from being who you are. And I know it sounds mad, like a small thing, but I'm eating smaller. I'm not eating meat, and I just feel way better.
Well, we've in like the past 2.5, 300 years, we've like evolved. I don't know if this is wrong, but maybe conditioned to think with, when you look back prior to the agricultural revolution, people used to actively be tribes and hunt and gather their own food, and you weren't full. You got full, and you often didn't know where the next meal was coming from. Of course, now we're in a much more comfortable situation.
We are the consumers, and I feel like, without going too much into that, because it will bore people.
Yeah.
But we are programmed now to think that we need to eat 3 times a day. You need to have this, and this. Like, your body, and you should just give it what it needs, and we don't need to be eating as much as we're being told. There's so much that we are told that's there to make us think a certain way, act a certain way, and without going into it too much, I think I'm now at the point where my beliefs are probably controversial in some respects, because I believe that everything that we see is a lie, and I think as humans, we should have the choice to make our own decisions and not be influenced by what we're seeing on the media. And I've learned so much over the last few months, and I've done a lot of research. I went a bit too deep into the COVID, but bad reasons. My dad was enough for me to think, well, I'm going to do everything I can to get him out of the hospital and save him, which I couldn't. I've done my best, but during that process, I've done enough research to, verify my beliefs, and I'm still 99.9% confident that everything that we're seeing and being told is a lie. COVID was real. I had it. It was shit. I'm not saying it's not real. There's people probably go, you should get your vaccine and blah blah blah. No, we shouldn't. Your immune system's your immune system, and that's what it's there for. And we're human.
They've been there for thousands of years.
That's it.
But that's that. One thing I wanted to kind of not go too far backwards to go forwards, but you have a great capacity to be able to talk about these things and to be open in that. And I think that's really important, that people hear that, because you are a person who has had success in your life, and I think people want to know what's behind that. But it's also very easy for people to go, oh, look at Jay's Instagram and everything's bright, everything's rosy, and he's got all these businesses, everything's fantastic. But I know, like, you to trigger out the start of this journey, you went real deep on the other side before you came back up.
It just reminds me about what I wanted to remind you about talking about, and that's, social media is the biggest lie. Obviously, everyone posts their goods. We all know, we all do it. We only post the good things in our lives, and I don't know how interesting it would be if everyone actually posted everything that's going on in their lives. I mean, I can tell you now, like, there's a lot. My Instagram probably looks, I'm doing this and doing that, and don't get me wrong, look, I am doing it, but there's a lot behind that that people should probably see, because then you'd realise my life's not perfect. Nobody's life's perfect, and if more men and women, to be fair, if we spoke more about how we're feeling, then because I think where I'm going with this is since the impact of COVID, suicide rates have gone up in men. Like, I forgot the actual percentage, but it's very high. I mean, you'll probably see, at one point I was seeing at least one person a week on my social media that took their own life. I lost my good friend Josh. He took his own life because COVID had absolutely ruined his dream, his event, which was on its way to being one of the most successful and biggest brands in Birmingham, if not further. There was obviously more going on in Josh's head that none of us knew about. And at that point, I tried to put myself in his shoes and think, how can you do that? And it wasn't. A lot of people know me. I've only told very few people this week about how dark it got for me when I lost my dad. Obviously, I lost a lot of businesses, and we all know what happened to the Berlin bar because of COVID. Blah 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 blah. But the financial aspect of it, that wasn't where I was at. It was more like I kept getting kicked back down, and then that happened to my dad, and I was just thinking. I just found myself thinking things that I didn't realise I was thinking until I think I found myself back at this location in Sutton Park, and it was a very, very, it was dark thoughts that was more like, that tree looks ideal. And I was thinking, what am I thinking? And then it's not until somebody goes, you've had suicidal thoughts, I'm like, no, never. And then, and there's a few people now that know where the tree is, and they know that I've been back there fucking 100 times. And I think, the part of my argument with myself at one point was my dog. Odin would have been on his own, and I'm thinking, what the fuck am I thinking? Why am I even thinking my dog if the worst? And it's not, I'm not talking about, I'm not saying these things to make people think, it's like, people need to know that everybody's got their struggles.
Everybody, absolutely everybody.
No matter who you are, what you do, it's better to just talk about it. And I think I'm sitting here now, I 100% know I'm sitting here now because of the babies that I'm expecting. I'm not saying that everybody else in my life meant nothing, but I was at rock bottom, and I was fucking angry. I was destroyed by what happened to my dad, and I know he would have been thinking, what are you doing? And to be honest with you, I seen a clairvoyant, and she was shaking her head at one point. And there was a few things that my dad could have been pissed off at, or not pissed off, but telling me not to do. One of them was that, and the other one was going down to Bristol Hospital and finding the consultant that lied to me. And I'm not saying that it's his fault what happened to my dad, but he knew.
You wanted someone to blame, right?
He knew what I was saying. He knew the medicines that I'd found and researched, and my medical questions that he couldn't answer because he didn't know. He didn't know, and he's a liar. And I was actively planning, stupid stuff. And the clairvoyant that I sat with, she told me things that nobody else would know, and I was just like, "Whoa!" And it weren't for money. It was a young girl, 20 years old, who was still learning, what she can do, and she just wants to help people. And, she was shaking her head, and I was thinking, "No way!" And that was in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? I was thinking, "Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this stupid." And then obviously we found out he was having twins, and that completely changed me, gave me a whole new motivation and something to look forward to, which I don't think that was my spiritual awakening. Like that point, I think my awakening, which everybody gets a spiritual awakening, apparently is what I found out after being on this retreat, which we'll talk about in a second. My awakening was when I had to make the decision to turn my dad's machine off, and I couldn't talk about it before this retreat. I'd straight away start fucking crying because to make that decision, everyone's looking at you like, Jay, what are we going to do? My sisters and my dad's partner, my mum would have been like, asking what's going on. I'm like, nah, we're getting him out of here. Don't worry, he's coming out of here. And then one day, when they put him into a coma, we went back literally the next morning, and my dad was lying there like this, chewed up, but fucking strong. He looked strong, and I know at that moment he had his arm on me, saying, "Son, I'm ready to go." And I turned to my sister and I said, "He's ready to go." She went, "What are you going on about?" I was like, "He's ready to go." And that was my awakening. That was my first realization that there's more to us than this, and what we are is way more powerful than we could probably ever imagine. I think we only use about 10% of our brain capacity or something. I'm only just starting to, like I said, I'm not trying to go too deep into it. I just know what I felt. I believe that my dad came and see me the morning that he actually passed, but I brought him back as the DNR form, the do not miss a state. I told them I wanted that
Scratch.
Wanted it scrapped. I wanted it brought back at all costs. And the morning that he actually passed, I think I spoke about it last time, I had a presence in my room, and I shit myself, fucking literally jumped back into bed, and it went away. I wasn't ready to welcome him. But loads of things have been happening. I've been seeing robins everywhere in the park. The same robin lands in front of me, looks at me, and then flies off. Twice that's happened. It's little things that you've got to look out for. So when people do pass away, they're not gone. Do you know what I mean? And that's something that no matter what people believe about where I've been, what journey I'm on, I found peace. I found peace because I know that he's okay. It's hard to explain, but the reason I feel this way now is because of this spiritual healing retreat that I went on with Param Shakti. The lady who runs it, Emma, she's beautiful, gifted healer, like she is. She's no counsellor, there's no drugs involved from a pharmacy that literally mask whatever problem you've got. There was a guy there with heavy depression, heavy anxiety, given all this medication for 2 years, not left his house. So if medication was doing anything, surely it would be further along. It's fucking worse because it masks everything. It masks you, stops you from thinking.
Well, you don't confront the problem, do you?
It just covers it up, stops your brain from working. And it's in this process of the 4 days of changing him was just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So you said you had some advice there off Alex. Might be on Alex.
Yeah.
Was he told you about this? Was he the one who told you about the retreat?
His uncle Chris is Emma's partner, and Chris is on his own journey as well. He's a lot further along than I am. He works with Emma, and he's there to support and guide. And he listens. He knows a lot. For some reason, whenever there's something happened in, say, you go into your, it's called a process, and if something bad happens, he explains why, and you need to see certain things, and he's good, and he's really supportive in what he does. And I think that alone is a gift. And not everybody can just do that and hold that sort of space.
I think so. Yeah, I've got a depth of knowledge there as well, because he's facilitated it so many times that he can go, look, I know what you're saying, I see it myself, and you, because what you resist, I think I said it before, I say it a lot, but it is true, what you resist persists, and I think a lot of people go, and we will talk about what more the actual retreat entails in a bit, but you can go into these things, and some people don't let go, and they hold on, and they can get, if they're not under the right guidance from the people that I've never been on one. This is just what I say from the outside. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you don't get the right guidance there based on what you're experiencing, then you're just going to feel like it didn't work for you, and you might be going to come away possibly with a bad experience.
Yeah, well, I think if you've had a bad experience, you've had bad. I don't know what they use. So bad healers or mentors or whatever they.
Bad facilitators.
Facilitators, yeah. You've had Param Shakti. They talk, they listen, and it's not just about the plant medicine. So it's literally, they want to help you find out why you feel a certain way, and then Emma will literally break it down to the point where you're like, oh my God,
strip it back.
Yeah, and then it's just that alone, without the plant, the healing medicine, and this spiritual healing process, it's for a lot of people it would be mind blowing, because I never researched it before I went, which tells me it was calling me in, which Emma explained. You know, I've gone there like literally like my feet were off the floor and I was being drawn in to go there because I needed to find peace. I was angry at everything that had happened, and that anger was then passed on to my babies. It was affecting everything that I do. The negative anger around me was affecting everything. You know, things have happened. You know, COVID's caused a lot of it, but then I was just fucking doing stupid shit. I was in self-destruct.
Yeah.
Something needed to change, and this opportunity to go on this 4-day retreat was a life changer for me. I feel reborn, and I'm not in like in a religious way reborn. I just feel like a new person, a person. I don't know, hard to explain, but everybody said it. There's a positive energy around me. I feel full of life. I feel excited for no reason, which is crazy. Like, I mean, I've got a bit of ADHD, and Mrs. will probably tell you that, but it's like I just feel.
I know how that feels.
Yeah. So
it's a good attribute which you embrace it.
Yeah, it's completely changed me. But maybe there's a lot of people been asking me questions about it. People with their own struggles. So there's a few things that I will say is like you do need a strong mind, but you are looked after. I can't go off any other retreats I've never been, but the one I've been on fully felt looked after. Didn't feel at any point on my own, because you know if you're going to be going into these deep meditations and the plant medicine is going to be doing its thing. You could see some which I did on the second ceremony. I seen some bad shit, and I felt the pain and suffering, which I thought was my dad's, because I asked for strength, and some people, you ask for it, like what were you asking? But the plant medicine, it's sacred, it's spiritual, it's the Mother Earth plant, they call it, and you go, you receive the tea, and asks you how you're feeling, and it's very peaceful, and it's all, it's amazing. Like, that's the only way, like, if I could have spoke to you the moment after my first experience on the plant medicines, I don't think I would have found the words. I still struggle now to find the words for how I felt. Like, I was literally a ball of light, just my spirit, I reckon. I'd left my body, I was just floating, weightless, peace. And I had the opportunity to see everything beautiful in my life, show me everything beautiful in my life. And whether people think that's real or not, it was beautiful, and I had the opportunity to really sit back and smile and think, yeah, man, like, so if you are in a dark place and you think that your life's bad or not worth being here for, you're wrong, man. Like, you're fucking wrong. Like, I wish I'd to go back that far to before and get back into Josh's head before he made that decision, and because I feel like these sort of retreats and these feelings, and they would help many people and make you realise what you've got, who you've got, and the most important things in life are not materials. The one thing I've learned is I don't fucking want a big car or a nice car. I don't want a big house. Those things mean nothing to me right now. I want to build my business because I'm proud of it. There's been a lot of effort put into this from myself, my business partners. A lot of effort, because this place, this doghouse creative concept, it costs a lot of money, and it just...
You put everything into it? So you're going into work?
This was I've been planning this for probably 5 years.
Yeah.
Even when the doghouse barbershop was there, the plan for a coffee lifestyle, high-end wellness, and the wellness side of it now is perfect because of situation I'm in now with the medicine music, which I've been non-stop playing, and missus is going insane. Medicine music is guided, like, it's made, like, they make it from the same vibrations as the earth.
Yeah.
And I was like, at first, like, how do they even know that? But you can measure
They can measure vibrations, yeah.
So, and I was like, wow. And yeah, it heals you, and a lot of our customers coming in won't even be realising it. Well, you're having a facial and that music's on, and you're listening to those words. You're going to be getting healed.
Well, I always say when I come here to the Doghouse Crave, it's like Friday. It's like Friday every day. Yeah. This morning it felt a bit more like Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. It was.
Yeah, the whole
It was like it wasn't sleepy, but it was. In fact, as soon as I came in here, before, because you were in the back, working with someone in the back, I said, "Is Joe here?" He is in the back. I thought something feels different in there.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really interesting how you've had that experience, and it's petered out to your business, which of course is your business, and to a degree, everyone's business is within their control. But I think energy travels, and it both positive or negative. It travels, and it spreads out to people around us very quickly.
Yeah, well, that's what I feel is happening. I mean, the people on the retreat, some of them very spiritual, very, very spiritual. I learned so much of them. I had to leave my ego at the door, which I found hard, because even for somebody like me who's very open-minded going into that situation where there was a lot of like all this sort of like, I don't know, it's to do with energy and
energy.
I'm learning, do you know what I mean? But it was, for me, I was just like, whoa, where am I?
So what's going on here?
Yeah, I was just like, this is serious, man. This is totally different. But these people are the most free people, beautiful. You know, for a man to look at you and talk to you in your eyes and say things to you that he found out about him in a short space of time, like it's a guy called Carl, and mind blowing, like the things that he would come out with and say. That I don't think he's come from a background where, I don't know about his education, but I can't imagine it was uni or anything. But the things he says, he's learned it from somewhere, and I feel like it's because he even speaks languages that he's never learned. They call it light language or something, and he writes it down, and it's a proper language, it's the original language that humans spoke, and he speaks it, and he's in his, he believes he's had past lives, and a lot of religions relate to this.
We talked about that before, I
mean, he goes back and he was a leader of a tribe, so he's speaking some real strong, like, language that's just like, what, can't. And for some people, it's like, that's crazy. Borderline is, like, I think there's...
Well, it's a big contrast to people like...
I don't think it's crazy. I think it's just hard to comprehend that as humans, we probably have been manipulated, mind-fucked into thinking that this here is real, like, and it's normal. It's not. I don't think any of it's normal anymore, and I'm not losing the plot. I've never been more clear in my mind ever. I'm off the drink. I'm off everything else that comes with the drink, and I'm very, very at peace with everything that's happened. Everybody that's done me wrong. The people who have, contributed to the death of my dad. I'm at peace with that. And
I'm really happy that you found peace with that.
I'm done with that, and I think that's the one thing that whether you think I've lost the plot or not, or if you think I'm going down the road of losing the plot, you're wrong. Like, for me, I've been healed, and I'm at peace. And
I think they call it enlightenment.
Yeah,
I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
What really intrigued me is the fact that would you usually research? You didn't research, and you didn't do a lot of looking into it, reading it before. As a business owner, someone who takes risks at scale, I imagine you might be wrong, you might not, but when you're going into things, you do a fair bit of research and a fair bit of looking into them. You didn't feel like you wanted to, or you didn't think someone told you not to, or?
I just trusted. So Alex Mugby, he was in a very, very similar situation of wrong choices. He'd lost a lot split with his wife, going through a very dark time, and at one point I was worried about him as well. So we kept checking on each other. So we helped each other, and then all of a sudden he's going on these retreats, and I thought exactly what people are probably going to be thinking about me now. He's fucking losing the plot. I did, and I thought he's going there, he's doing stuff to probably get wrecked on, or I just didn't know because I didn't know, I was judging him.
Yeah.
And then he was saying to me, you need to come, like, nah, fuck that. Like,
how long did it take to convince you?
I think he'd done, because it's his uncle now. Alex is a facilitator.
Okay.
So he guides you through Cambos, and because he's again, he's shown that he's got attributes to be very helpful, very caring, loving, and I'm happy to say that about one of my close friends, and man to man. Like, at one point I got up off my bed to go and thank him, but not talk and thank him, but I just put my arm on him. Do you know what I mean? And that, to do that as a man, it's you leave your ego. You go and you just I knew what I was saying.
Well, I think it's a beautiful way to do something like that, because when you experience something brand new for the first time, but you've got a bit of prior knowledge about it. You know what you're going there for. You know what your intention is, perhaps. But if you do a lot of research, then you build up your expectation then in your mind, and it alters your experience, no matter whether you want it to or not.
There's a reason why I didn't research it. Because usually I say, probably. But I don't know. I think when it comes to doing crazy things off the wall, I'd say, I don't know, going to festivals and not really thinking about what you're doing, because
unintentional indulgence.
Yeah. So it's just like, right, it's the unknown. I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I know it was spiritual, and to be honest with you, the main thing that I was going for was to try and get to my dad. Yeah. I've sat with a clairvoyant, and it was beautiful. She told me some things that blow your mind. She told me what my dad was wearing when he was in his coffin. Yeah. Nobody knows that apart from me and my sisters. Yeah. And my partner, I was just like, that got me. Then I was like, fuck. She told me exactly what he was wearing. Yeah. Couldn't have said anything, could have said a suit.
And do you feel like, obviously you had some intentions going in, a lot to talk about them more, but did you feel like you reached your dad?
I let my dad. So at one point, when you go into these ceremonies, you ask for what your intentions are. My intentions were, I wanted to find peace. This was my first night, and lose the anger that I felt. And so that's why the plant medicine and the guidance and the healing process was showing me everything beautiful in my life. Everything. It was unbelievable. And so then it got into my dad, and at this point, it was a hand. Well, I know it was my dad's hand, and there was some medicine music playing at the time, which is about rest in peace, and I think it's like release your soul. I put it on my Instagram, the actual track, I found it, and I let my dad's hand go, just let it go, and peace, literally. Instant peace, because I knew I'd let it go. The anger would go on. These and this is going to sound crazy to some people, but I was literally being checked over by higher powers or ancestors. They knew me.
Was this near the start?
This was I can't even put it into order, but I was literally in deep meditate. It takes 12 years to practice every day. So the medicine fast tracks you 12 years to get to a meditation so deep that you are complete weightlessness. My heartbeat felt like 1 per minute. I was just like just utter peace, just crazy, unbelievable feeling of love and positive and just being looked after. And this feeling was because I was, I had these figures, but with beards, so just about making out these very vivid. What's the word I'm looking for? Not vivid. So there were shapes forming into human shapes and the beards, and I was literally looking over my body like, checking if I was okay, and then but they were healing me. So every part of my body, like you've got your chakras and my organs, every organ they were healing, lit up, like glowed up, lit the room up in my mind, obviously. And every time that they moved on, I just felt like I was just fixed, like brand new, man. Like, it's hard for some people to comprehend even going through that, and I was just so willing for it to take me because I wanted to just reach my dad and like just don't know what I was thinking. I was just thinking that. I actually remember in my mind going, "Go on, fucking take me, take me wherever, whatever."
Well, I can tell you it's also very hard for you, and it is for anyone who's had them experiences. I've had some psychedelic experiences, but not. And really, it is a psychedelic experience what you've had, but it's compared with a lot of other things. And it's quite hard to put them into words, even as someone who's pretty good at explaining things. And you get to a point where you're like, well, I've said what I can say, I've articulated it as much as I can.
Yeah. I mean,
you can talk about more the benefits you got from it, but the actual visuals of being there, they're pretty.
I think what's important is like I'm not going to try and explain it to like justify it or like make people try and think I'm not crazy or I don't know what my mind just thinks right, because for some people it's mind blowing what I'm talking about and knowing. So I don't really think if you're not ready to understand it or you don't want it, that's fine. All I care about is I found peace and I'm a better person right now.
I'm so happy for you. That's the case.
I've come out of a really dark place, and what my aim is now is to talk to many people, men, women who are suffering. This would definitely help, and like can't fucking stress that enough. You don't have to be spiritual. Like I just don't even know how to word it, but yeah, it's
a highly beneficial experience. I mean, I'm definitely going to take the details off you. I think we all come so far to a point in life where you feel stuck. I think that's fair to say. I think people watching will be able to align with that. And there's a multitude of reasons why that can be. It can be people, that you lose, people that come into your life, people that go out of your life, people, situations, things, circumstances, responsibilities. The list is really endless.
Yeah.
But people try things, and for some people it can just be as simple as like they go and exercise or something like that, and it changes it for them, and they deal with it. But some people do it in other ways, substance abuse or alcohol abuse. And I think that's the root for a lot of young men. A lot of young men.
There's a lot of people doing that. They're trying to escape.
Women as well, yeah.
Escapism, it's fun at the time, but you're really just masking. You're not, you're going to have a great time for a day or two, depending who you are, how excitable you get. But it's only making it worse. And the one thing that I needed to get on top of because it was becoming more of a need than a want, so it was just unnecessary binges for cocaine, and I was even like thinking, I don't even enjoy that. Like I'm not enjoying it. It was, I don't know. It was a bad habit that. A habit that was, like if you go out and have a good time and you're clubbing and you're having a great time, it sounds like when you're doing it needlessly to mask things and think that that's the answer. It's wrong. It's not the answer. And going back to our last chat, I half was glorifying it, and I think when I look back at that, I'm thinking, I'm glorifying it at the time of my life where I was just doing that and masking the shit that I've dealt with, and it's not the answer. And I'm still not saying if you do it every now and again, it's cool, like whatever, but don't use drink, drugs to mask your problems because they ain't going nowhere. Do you know what I mean? I think that I might be sounding like a martyr here, and people that know me well.
Speaking from experience.
It's how I feel. It's I've done it. I've been there. Fucking got loads of t-shirts. I'm probably the guy that people would look at and think he's the prime example of somebody that was going out for days to mask the shit that was going on in my life. And again, it goes back to people looking from the outside and thinking that it's all roses, and fucking hell. I've had to get rid of my car, downsize on a house, but these steps backwards are needed to move forward, and it's not something that I'm ashamed of. I don't mind, money comes, money goes, and for somebody like myself who's I've been in a good position. I've been in a position where I can invest money into a new business, and everything will go great, and then all of a sudden you're on your arse, and it's like fucking hell, pull yourself back together, and it's life. And I don't mind talking openly if it's going to benefit another man looking at me and thinking that my life's all fucking roses, and he's struggling, and he's like blah 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 blah. We're all fucking struggling, but we all fucking hide behind a photo on Instagram. It's a shame because people judge their own lives off other people's lives, and I think that's one of the worst things.
That's one of the. And look, I've even you probably say you've done it yourself. I've done it myself. I've done that, but it gets really dangerous when you are finding yourself unhappy because of something you see online, but really what you're seeing is absolutely not true either. It's fabricated. So what's like everyone trying to go towards here, like the whole things?
I do like that message fabricated, because fabrications and this whole existence that we've been led to believe, I've said it once and I'll say it again, like it's a very false narrative that we're being led down, like it's fabricated. The world that we've been molded into,
the system of the world.
We shouldn't be living this way. Like everything that we consume, the water, it's all filled with shit that's causing cancers, and it's hard to break away, because you wouldn't eat a thing if you really looked into everything. I know, but it's just making little changes in your life to live a better life, and it's hard, I know, because I've cut meat out, and I'm trying to do little things, and I probably took on too much. I've quit drinking, blah blah blah. I'm doing the fucking gym, I'm doing yoga, blah blah blah.
All the things.
That's the way I am. It's like
you're all or nothing. You get obsessed with things,
and there's a few people that have said, don't do it all at once. So I'm like, look, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it, and straight away, as soon as I fucking downloaded the app to stop drinking, I've done it. And I've been to probably the worst place you could be sober. That's my after party called the Kitchen at PST.
Nice club.
Finishes at like 10 in the morning. I'm just like,
yeah.
And I did it.
I've done
it, and I didn't even think about it. And that for me shows my mindset is way, way stronger than I thought. And it's a good feeling saying no, and it's a even better feeling leaving there and going home, getting your dog, getting your missus, go meeting your mate in the park and having a barbecue, and feeling way better for it.
Yeah. I think your mindset though, when you look at the things that you've achieved and the places that you came from, which we talked about last time, you're just one of those people when you put your mind to it, but when it's your mind behind it and it's you who wants to do it, because you are quite stubborn.
If someone tells you, ever said, well, you've got to stop drinking.
You're like me, you're rebellious, you're stubborn, don't like authority, and if a decision's made, it's got to be made on your terms.
Yeah.
No doubt, you've got kids in the way, that should have to change somewhat, but who knows? But I think, talking about the meat thing, I want to talk about the meat thing a bit more, because I just told you, like, as I come in, I went hunting last week, and I shot 2 deer, and now they were butchered up straight away, and some were sold to a game dealer. People were already eating that, and I had some myself, bought back some from my friends, and I think there's a big difference, and I haven't got to the point in life where I can do that all the time, and all the meat I eat is from an animal I know was just in a field running free a few days before. Some people like listening might not like that, but I think that journey from that to being on my plate, rather than from it being wherever it was, and who knows how it was and how it was kept, to go to an abattoir and that fear that's in it, you can't tell me that animal doesn't know, coming from a line of ancestry of animals, that when they're in that truck, they know, man. They get that fear in them, and that's in them for hours all the way onto the abattoir. They know they've got that fear in them running through the blood, and you a diet that you're ingesting that when you eat that. And I don't think that.
No, I think my
There's got to be some crossover there. It's not
my feelings is simple. Give your body what it needs. Yeah, like vegetarians that don't eat meat because they don't want to kill animals. I get it. I do get it. But if you go back fucking however many years, thousands of years, we were hunters and we'd have to hunt to live. And like, you know, it is part of life. It's the circle of life. You go to the jungle, the lion will eat lion. You know, it's life. So I don't feel bad for eating an animal. I'm only not eating meat through the week because I don't feel like my body needs it so much. I'm going to give it what it wants at the weekends. I'm going to eat good quality meat, as clean as I can, because I feel like, you know, and I said it earlier, my body feels lighter. I don't feel bloated, which again is going to lift me up as a person. If you're bloated, you're like sluggish, and you know that again is going to have a positive impact on the way that you are, and little changes to your diet. Don't cut it out completely. I'm just no meat through Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. You know, I'll have a steak on a Saturday, and I'll have a Sunday roast on a Sunday, or a barbecue like we did last Sunday, and you give your body what it needs. Veganism and vegans, like, you know, do what you're doing, and like each to their own. I don't really mind, and I'm not gonna say who's right, who's wrong, but it's heavily pushed on us at the moment, vegans.
Yeah.
And you know, as soon as you start seeing vegan burgers in KFC, you fucking know something's going wrong. If you're a vegan, you're eating KFC, mate.
It's the new thing to be marketed, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's
Marketed, yeah.
of course, you make your own decisions. Fair enough. You know, nothing against anyone who wants to eat whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know, but I do think there's a big marketing drive behind it, and companies have realised this is the next thing we can get onto. We can make a lot of money, and that's why a lot of these products cost so much more, like than the meat equivalent.
You want organic, you're paying more.
Yeah.
Supermarkets, organic stuff, I just don't really believe it. I don't believe much these days from the last 2 years, from the everything that we've seen and what's unfolded, and I'm just like, right, I want to grow my own shit, I want to live in my own land, and you know, create my own tribe. And it sounds crazy, but you know, that's unfortunately, I think, the only way you're going to ever live freely without drinking and poison and eating poison and all that. But the people that I've been involved with on these retreats, that's pretty much all they are, is free, happy people. And
Don't you think it's mad that we celebrate by poisoning ourselves? That's what it is, isn't it? When you look at it from that.
Again, lowering your vibration, lowering everything about you. Alcohol does not lift anything. You have probably a good time for a few hours, and then the rest of the time fucking hanging. Next day, lowered. Day after that, still feeling like shit. Like, I do believe that obviously if you had 100% alcohol, it would kill you, wouldn't it?
I believe so, yeah. I don't think you wouldn't be able to have very much of it at all.
It's a poison. It's like, so if you drink 10 pints of vodka, you're going to fucking die, probably. So it's not good for you. Not good for you. I think, it's, again, a lot of people, if they listen to this, that know they're probably not what the fuck's even.
I think a lot of people, and it's been interesting to get like a little bit of an eye in here. Actually, no, because it's the first time I've seen you since I last saw you. So everything I'm learning now, bar a little discussion we had in the barber shop before, is raw and authentic, and it's really interesting me and switching me onto things, because I went on my own spiritual journey when I went to Australia. I felt like I was a bit like reborn, because you go to a new country and you start again. And I went on, had some experiences there, perhaps similar to yours in ways. But I felt like throughout the past 2 years, I got stuck back down in it and got bogged back down with it. And I think a part of that was not being able to come home and see the people I love and care about. But man, I think there's a lot of good things can be taken from this. And I do think a lot of people will look at it from that perspective, particularly people who've grown up in cities like Birmingham, London, Manchester, Liverpool. And like, you know, what are these guys talking about? What is this like? These ceremonies are going to, and you know, they'll do it like, you know, hippie madness or whatever.
It's been portrayed like crazy people, like hippies, tree huggers, like they're just honestly, like, even for me, there's a picture of me on my Instagram where I'm lying on the grass and I'm topless and I'm just close to the earth, and Chris just said, look, just feel the vibrations of the earth, and like, sounds crazy, but like it just feels nice to be grounded. And even walking barefoot when you go to the park and just feel the earth. Like, again, I'm going to be sounding a bit crazy to people, but these little things, and you might not understand until you've probably been in my situation, where you was at the point where you're standing at the bottom of a tree looking to fucking end your life, and then all of a sudden, you're on the other side of it, looking at that tree and laughing, and like thinking, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think if there's anything that comes from today's conversation, anybody that's watching, drop me a message. I'll tell you more about Haram Shakti, more details about the plant medicine, and obviously we haven't even talked about Cambo yet.
No, I'd love to talk about that.
Yeah.
And like on that note, I think it's great that these conversations are opening up more and more. The fact that we're having one, perhaps just someone like to text, call, message the mate tonight and just check in and just like ask your mate, do you know what I mean? Ask him once, ask him twice. Because we're all part of the conditioning that we've been in the past few hundred years, is that men are always meant to be strong and they don't have problems, and if they do, they don't talk about them, they just bury them away and they get better by themselves. They don't. This is like, I've done a few, anyone can look back at the podcast, a few mental health specials at certain times a year when mental health awareness is heightened in young men, and I think it's huge. And I think if it just helps one person, or if it can just change one person's perspective or outlook, or spark one conversation, it's great.
It's been bad for the last few years with COVID, but I feel like it's going to get a bit worse.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's now going to be, if you've noticed, there's everything going up because they've given all that money away to go, you're locked down, but don't get pissed off. Here's loads of money, go and have a good time, forget about that you're grabbing all your freedoms taken. Very clever what they've done. A lot of people took advantage of that, fair play to you. If you can get away with it and not pay back, fucking even more fair play, take it, because they've literally taken everything that we knew, and they've literally made the reins a little bit tighter, or quite a lot tighter, and I feel it might not be the end of it yet. I hope I'm wrong. There's people that I follow, really, really influential people that are not, conspiracy theorists, that have got a lot of credentials. It's just, I don't like the direction the world's going in, to be honest. Can we do anything about it? We can try and get more and more people to say enough's enough. Like the energy crisis, fuck that. Like, just stop paying. If everybody comes together, because I see a post every day, 5 posts a day, energy prices, blah blah blah. Can't believe this, but everyone's still paying it. Like, and until we say enough's enough, nothing's going to change.
You're right. Yeah. If a big group of people take action in a certain way, then it does change.
It winds me up because, like, I don't know if it's just the UK. I think it's a lot of people just so submissive, with just like, putting the prices of fuel, energy, cost of living through the roof. I mean, the biggest one for me, it's been for years, but as soon as you start getting somewhere with your business or you're doing well on your paycheck, you get a 40% tax bracket, right? If me and you went into business now, you pay for the shop and you come up with a brand and you come up with all the ideas, and I said to you, I'm taking 40%, what did you say? You'd be like, fuck off. No thanks. So why the fuck did the government just think they can do that? And like, don't get me wrong, unfortunately, we just say it's a part of life, but it's not, and it shouldn't be. That's a whole different conversation.
It is.
Maybe some things are left unsaid, but we do need to all fucking come together.
We do. And I think that the unfortunate part about that is that it's not until the people who aren't affected start complaining at scale about those that are that massive change happens. So what can you do to make a difference?
I mean, talking about it, and I'm glad I used my social media for the COVID situation, because I believe that stopped some people from getting vaccinated. They don't need to. Even if you're vulnerable, like, man, like, don't want to go down that road, but humans are amazing things.
They sure are. On the whole, I can't speak wrong, got a very good immune system that gets over things. Jay, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about. It seems funny to me that things have kind of infused, because when you started Doghouse Creative, it wasn't just going to be a barber's, wasn't just going to be a place that also had a barber shop and sold good quality coffee. It wasn't, and it's good coffee. It wasn't just, it's basically almost like you put it in your own words, but like a healthcare centre for men. Wellness
centre, wellness hub, like a lot of it relates again because I've been on this journey for longer than I realised. This is for men and mental health. Like, come in here, lie back, and just switch off. Make yourself feel better. If you feel better on the inside, on the outside, you'll feel better on the inside. And a 10-20 minute service in here, like a facial, might not seem a lot, but you will walk out that door, the window hit your face, and you're going to feel clean. And for me, very important thing about my well-being is feeling clean. Bit of OCD in my body. So, yeah, walking out and feeling clean, having a fresh face, fresh fade, makes a massive difference to mental health. And it's actually proven a haircut can make all the difference to mental health and feeling good, looking good. It's a confidence booster.
It's important.
Yeah.
Also, something that I saw on your website, and it talked about how when your mental health, this can be for anyone, male, female, when your mental health goes out of check, then your routine's got out of check as well, and your capacity to take care of yourself and just do basic things like have a shave and.
Yeah, routine's really important. My routine at the moment is fucking rigid, and before this changing, my routine was all over the gap. I was obviously doing stuff I shouldn't be doing, making me stay out till late. And, I was really busy as well, so like, I was having meetings, I was trying to get places open, and even when the Berlin bar was being developed, I was like grafting in there, like. I say grafting, I was probably like sweeping.
Labouring.
Yeah, labouring. I'm not really, you don't trust me on no tools. But yeah, so I was busy, but again, I was just choosing the wrong things, and then I was just, my routine was all over. Now, I'm up at 6, coffee, yoga 6:15, finish at 7, take the dog to the park, 9k, 10k walk, good hour and a half, then to the gym, back home, breakfast, to work. Like, routine's great, and
when you got a good routine, everything falls into place.
Yeah, and the same with like skincare. That's what we push here. Like, we've got a product, Masoa, and they're very men's mental health orientated. Just been on Dragon's Den actually. So it's good that I've seen that. Like, they've been here since the very start, and nobody really heard of them. And now all of a sudden, 2 customers are coming today because they know they've got Masoa and bought Masoa because they've seen it on Dragon's Den, and I'm thinking, well.
And they've got values around mental health as well.
Yeah, that's what they push. That's why me and him came together. And Matt, the guy who, the founder of Masoa, he's been in a very dark place too, sitting on. I don't think you'll mind me saying this. We both had conversations. He was sitting on a bridge, ready to. You know what I mean? So, and now looks like I think he's done 18 months worth of sales in a week since since Dragon's Den. So again, it's a great product. It's got 3-step routine, and that's what we're pushing here. Like, just make yourself look better, take some time out for yourself, and that's what this place is about now. When we play medicine music since my retreat, and medicine music's insane. Like, it's relaxing, but it's still vibing as well. It's hard to explain it.
Jay, you're changing the game, because I think for years it's been women who've been getting pampered when they go to the salon or go to the spa, and of course that's a good thing, but now it's time for people to be able to come to Doghouse Creative.
Yes, it feels comfortable. We've still got a few men still a bit uneasy about, I ain't having a facial, I thought that's gay, or we've still got that.
There'll always be a rub against that.
Even the moisturiser, like, we had one builder come in at the very start. Did I tell you that last time? No. Come in, he was just like, he had his haircut, jumped out, bam, Oh, I've seen you open. Can I have a vape? Yeah, so complimentary facial. Wow, fuck that, I don't know that. And then I said, mate, look, it's free. Like, what you got to lose? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sat him back. He said, oh, go on then. And then sat him back, done the facial, sat him up. He was like, you know what I mean? He was buzzing with it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I can't believe it, man. I look alive. I was like, yeah, you've got moisturiser on. Like, it's just, it puts the skin back to life. Do you know what I mean? And just that alone, then he was back then every week, wanting the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And he probably then went on to buy moisturiser and start, you know.
Yeah, you've got impact there.
Yeah.
I've noticed a theme that's developed throughout the whole podcast now, and I love it when a theme develops, and I think that's aligning with what you've just said there with the broader community, and being like, oh no, I won't try that because it's against who I am, or it doesn't fit in with my ego and all that stuff. And it goes back to what you said with spiritual things and trying new things in that regard, and trying maybe a different angle to heal yourself. Yeah. It's giving things a try and going, yeah, look, I don't quite understand this, or it's not usually what I do, but if you keep doing what you've always done, you're always going to probably get more or less the same results, aren't you? Yeah. So like just pushing past into that place of, this is a bit uncomfortable.
I definitely put myself into that place when I went to the retreats. It was complete culture shock.
You just gave yourself to it.
Give myself up. And, you know, by the time when I left, I was like, I already knew I was a completely different kid. You know, the love and care and positivity and the everyone in there, we became like a family. I know that's cliche to say, but you know, we all went through some shit and we all got rid of some shit.
Yeah.
So one lad, Ricky, like I spoke about him earlier, he went in there, his head down, really reserved, really, you know, he'd had his life sucked out of him, left there looking in my eyes, and completely different kid, you know. So that alone, take what you want, you know, out of what I've said today, but it fucking helps. And I think that's all people need to know. And I think if you are thinking about it, do your own research, because it will call you. If you've got any questions, just message me as well, because I'm happy to talk, because it does help people. I've got probably 15 of my people off my social media already going or make contact with Param Shakti, with Emma, and you know, I'm looking to hopefully change more people's lives and get them out of this dark place that they're in, and yeah, man, get them back on track and ready to smash life again.
That's right, man. Living things better than you found them.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of more things we've got. You got a bit more time?
Yeah.
So there's like one thing you talked about ego earlier, and how you had to let your ego go to fully to give yourself to this ceremony and the medicines that you try. Mm-hmm. I've had that experience before with psilocybin, when it really made me aware of what my ego was. But it's difficult, I think, that is in a way, because as a business owner, as a business operator, as someone who has to manage a lot of things and other people and a brand, don't you think ego to a degree is important, not to drive things?
It is, but like, so with me, I've always, some people still say, like, don't even know. So people come in here, they don't even know I own the place or the boss or whatever. I don't care. You know, I'm here to work with people. I treat everybody as I want to be treated. I've always done that. I think, you know, sometimes it goes against me because people take the piss, or, you know, I've had my own friends like done work in here that have just completely took the piss out of me.
Took your kindness for weakness.
Yeah, it's kindness for weakness, but you know, in the end, you know, it's only so much someone will take, and that side of somebody will eventually come out, and it's just not good. And like I said, I've found peace with everything, and you know, the things that were bringing me down, just go off. You know, there's no point in me wasting energy on it. You know what I mean? I think of, you know, to think that way, it's far better than letting someone grind at you and bring you down and just think, fuck it, like whatever.
And I think by being the way you are and just authentically who you are, that's really good, because you can't be anyone else. Ultimately, you can spend a lot of time and effort trying to be, or we're trying to aspire to these things that you see other people look to be on the outside. But it's a really dangerous thing because you can just be really unhappy trying to do something else. But I think authenticism is what we should be seeing more of, and hopefully we do see more.
100%.
Should you talk about nightlife?
Nightlife. Yeah.
As in, you're like, yeah, I love it. Nightlife.
What, the Berlin bar?
Well, the Berlin bar, but I think, first come, first serve, tomorrow night, the gas station, Wild Green, which is the first place I ever got, right next to the first place I ever got my hair cut by you. Let's talk about the gas station.
So obviously that's the old Doghouse barbershop in Wild Green, which was the sort of where the Doghouse brand was really born. Like we got the DJs in there, and it was music orientated, and obviously
it was like a barbershop, but it was kind of like a club as well. Sometimes it was a club.
Sometimes every weekend it was a club. It was an official after party venue in the end. To be fair. But yeah, because it's such a cool space, didn't want to really let it go, and I've seen a lot of these little microbreweries opening up, and me and one of my friends, Taylor, we just decided, right, let's just turn it into a micro bar. Taylor's a very experienced barman and mixologist, and he's got a lot to bring to the table when it comes to making cocktails and running the bar, and I've got a lot of experience with events and getting some traffic to the area, doing the marketing, coming up with the ideas, because the most important thing is for us to have like not a signature, I can't think of the word, but so people will know what we are, and that's something that you have to create. So cocktails, I want basically house music, soulful cocktails. Obviously, it's going to be a small bar, but there's nothing like that in Sutton.
You could call it a vibe. You could call it branded. Signature.
There is a word for it.
It'll come. But it's going to be like kind of quite small person venue, kind of 40 people. Do cocktails in there.
Cocktails. So we're going to have table service. So there'll be a app called Cuban that we're going to use. So all the menu will be on there. You'll sit at your table, order your drink, sit back, drink will be made, brought over for you. So there'll be none of that queuing at the bar, hustle and bustle. Because when you go to cocktail bars, it takes ages.
Yes.
So you stand at the bar, it takes them like probably 5-10 minutes to make it. So if there's a couple of people in front of you,
takes an hour.
So it's all going to be table service. We will be able to go to the bar probably just for the beers though. But yeah, just good music, great cocktails, and good vibe, and just in a cool little space that's used to be tram terminus. I put a little poster the other day.
Did it?
Yeah, I was trying to. So I found out ages ago of one of our older customers, and they told me that it used to be a tram terminus. So I asked the public if they knew what it was, and only 2 people knew.
And they probably have to ask their grandparents.
One girl did actually. Yeah, her granddad told her it was a tram terminus. So it's a cool building, which I didn't want to let go of. And
you didn't?
No, I didn't. It's been completely recycled in there as well. Not a lot of money to play with. I had a rough few years, so we just literally done it. We've had things taken apart and rebuilt. We took the DJ booth down, and that's been used to build the frame for the bar. So, which is great. It's a recycled bar. We've got odd chairs, odd tables, but I've got a lot of inspiration, to be honest, from bars in Berlin. Like you go to the little bars in Berlin, they've got like children's chairs to sit on and stuff.
Yeah.
Just random. Like really random, but it looks cool. So,
it's cool because it's different. It's quirky. It's like you don't need to be looking really fancy and really chic.
No.
People just prefer it to be a bit more normal. Sometimes a little bit more weird and wacky.
We're going to have street food there at the weekends as well. So
okay,
I'll try and bring a little slice of big bluff to Wild Green. Not massive. We'll probably have 1 street food vendor. And on a Sunday, possibly 2, because there's quite a bit of space. Just not sure how we go about with commissions, but
figure that stuff out.
Cross that bridge when
Yeah,
they turn up.
that's all the easy stuff. We saw that in the live. So it'll be open in the week and the weekends, or?
Yeah, we're going to get the probably get Mariband's coffee in there as well. It's a good coffee, man. Everyone has Mariband's. Yeah, it's a good coffee. So we're going to be opening up as much as we can through the week. Not going to have a lot of football on in there or anything. We're going to see how that goes, but football will probably bring different crowd.
Yeah.
We want people to come in couples, want people to come in pre-drinks before they go on to Sutton or Town. Want to have a nice cocktail, but listen to some good music, because you ain't getting that in Wild Green, you ain't getting it in Sutton.
No.
You know, you've got nowhere that plays good music, like current music, with good cocktails, and just create an atmosphere that you might not want to go from. You might think, well, actually, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to have a few more cocktails. I'm not going to Town because the music's good and the vibe's good, and
I don't welcome guest on the show, so I know what's happened here. It's all good. That's just in the way. So and I think it's going to be interesting because it's only a small person venue, so the crowd's going to be, I reckon it's going to end up being pretty hard to get into.
Yes.
Within a few weeks from now.
I hope so.
I'm sure so.
Yeah.
That area has been really fact from me going to all the way up there, has not had any venues for a long time. So it's bars and local music.
Furtherland's always busy.
Yeah.
And that plays no music. No music.
Then we can
just talking.
Yeah,
Which is
looking
good.
forward to how it plays out.
But you need some music sometimes to create a little bit of atmosphere. And
of course you do. Yeah.
That.
Atmosphere. Should we talk about what's happening with all things Berlin themed?
Yes. There's been a lot going on. At one point, I secured a venue, a massive venue in the middle of Digbeth for one of the biggest projects that I've ever thought of, been part of, which was basically, I'm not going to say too much because it's still going to happen. We had to pull back because of the COVID passport, basically. Everything was done. I had a planning consultant, the design and concept. I agreed a deal with the owners, which was BlackRock, a big company, an American, massive work, like 7.3 trillion. And I'm sitting at tables with them, and I snap back on tattoos and but done it properly with a planning consultant. Got it, we've done it, all agreed in principle, and then the fucking government brought out this COVID passport bullshit, and the investors pulled out, and this was going to be a multi-million-pound project. So for an investor with the COVID passport on the hospitality sector, I agreed. I was just like, it's too risky. So last thing you'd want to do is open up and then only have a percentage coming in, because let's be honest, the people who will be going into Digbeth are probably not going to be vaccinated. Not a lot of them.
I agree with that.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of people I spoke to only got it to go to festivals anyway. So, but anyway, I'm not going to talk about that again. So this concept basically would have been a village of opportunity for independents, with street food, market traders, Berlin bar, event space, chicken restaurant, literally.
Showed us a band, it would have been like a hub for nighttime and daytime.
I mean, same minute, it was huge. It took me 5 minutes to walk around. It was massive, from one street all the way to another street. A mini Camden market would have been.
Yeah.
So something really missing in Birmingham, something that is still in the pipeline. We've been looking at other venues. I won't say too much on that because it's very, very hard to get these venues at the moment. I've got a good team behind me at the moment and some good people backing me. Massive brewery who have seen these plans and are 100% behind me. The one venue that we did want, we put an offer in, but the planning could take up to 9 months, which is very frustrating, but the venue's that good, we may wait for it. The Berlin bar will be back. We've been through a lot of shit with that bar. bad business partner, bad landlords, lies to get me out of there of the venue we was in that we built. I'm not going to go into it, but glad it happened when it happened, because I know that's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a monster.
I think the fact that you've gone through all that and still carried on with it is a testament to its success eventually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
A lot of people would have quit way earlier.
Again, we created opportunities for young DJs coming through. I love finding new sounds, and the atmosphere was different in there because of that. Because we were bringing in like up and coming producers like Vibe Music, man. These lads, there was a few of us as well that had never played out of their bedrooms, and I gave them the opportunity, and now they're getting bookings all over the place, and like. There's something that's missing in Birmingham, the only real place that people have got to go at the minute is Lab 11, and it's fucking unreal in there. Do you know what I mean? There's just nowhere else to go. It's hard to get a set in there because it's just it's killing it. And they've got their DJs, and unless you're really lucky, you won't really get a look in, which is fair enough. They don't know what they're doing. They're doing it long enough. I just like to give opportunities to these up and coming DJs, and can't wait to get it back open, and I think then I will feel even more peace, because I think that's the only thing now in my life that I couldn't let that go really. Because if I let it go, it's finished, and it's not finished, so I'm not going to let it go until I've got it.
I was going to ask you what drove you not to quit.
I think obviously I know that it's got huge potential from just the summer we had. The last summer
would have been the one before, probably 2019.
No, it was 2019. We were in the lockdown.
Yeah. No. 2019
was all the blur.
It was past life.
We were just having barbecues and getting pissed off. It was a great time camping in the garden.
No, you had a great season with it.
Yeah.
So the show, it wasn't just an idea. You thought it would be great. The people actually loved it as well.
So the concept.
People
buying tickets from all over the UK and even Ireland at one point to come to the Byrne bar, which was absolutely crazy. So yeah, we'll be back. It's coming back with a bit of a twist. If we get this new venue, there's some branding, some really cool branding that means far more. Did I tell you the name?
That was going to be involved with it.
Just now the name of the new concept. It's way bigger than just a Berlin bar.
No, I don't think you did.
No, well,
you can tell me after.
I'll tell you after. Yeah. So the name will symbolise everything that is now, and that is to do with life in general, and I can't really say it so much. I'll probably give it away. I don't really want to say the name because it's a very I feel like the name.
Right, keep it tight,
branding on
people
it.
steal your ideas and then they're written upon themselves.
Branding for this will be perfect because of what we've just been through.
You got it? You did tell me actually. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a very it's a strong name. It means far more than just the name of a venue.
And events, kitchen, this ain't balloon, we'll be running up until then. Obviously not that venue.
Yeah. I think so. We relaunched this in Berlin a couple of weeks ago, which went really well. And we've got another venue booked. We may have an outdoor venue in Digbeth as well, which just trying to agree on terms, which is going to be underneath like railway arches, right by Mama Rooms. It's a very cool underground venue, which I'm hoping to get the Berlin bar in there for the summer. If we can agree a deal that's not too risky for us and too risky for the landlords, and because after the experience I had with the old venue, I'm not doing anything. Until something's signed.
So delivered.
Yeah. I went in fucking head first on that last one. It hit me on the arse. But
all lessons learned.
More lessons learned, and it just means that I've got away from certain people that would have ended up fucking me over anyway. So.
Yeah. I look back and think a lot of things are like, glad it happened now rather than later, because it would have always happened and the stakes would have been higher.
Exactly.
Joe, we'll wrap things up.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being being you, man, and just being able to talk about things. I hope everyone gets some advice, inspiration, motivation out of the show. One last question I will ask you before you go. I always ask everyone that comes on the show. It's to do with the title of the show. What drives your hunger for the hustle, Jay?
For the hustle, right now.
Throughout, yeah, let's go right now. I mean, because we've really talked about what drove it in some other places, but right now, in this new, form that you're on.
My twins, my two
Boy and a girl.
No, it's two boys.
Oh, it's two boys.
You haven't seen me, have you? So they told us boy girl. We did a gender reveal. Come back for the next scan 4 weeks ago, and she was like, "It's two boys." We were like, "What?" So yeah, two boys. I don't mind that. I'll see what pops out.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, that's my motivation now. That's my drive. That's what's got me to quit drinking, go on this retreat. And I went through some shit with the Cambo, like it's horrible. I was just thinking of them and thinking of my girlfriend, thinking of my dad, thinking of everybody around me that I'm fucking probably affecting. So Cambo, we didn't really talk about that, but
no.
It's
people can look at it.
Yeah, look at Cambo and you put your body through fucking hell, but the benefits are unbelievable. There's loads of health benefits. Look at Cambo and yeah, beautiful. That's it. Twins, they're my. That's it. That's my world now, and that's why I needed to change. And that's what this has all been about. You know, sitting there last time with a beer, I'm sitting there with a bottle of water. You know, I fucking broke the ice and I've done the hard part, and that's actually admitting there's a problem. And yeah, bring it on.
It's been a big old journey just in this podcast. And I've enjoyed it. I know you have. I hope you lot have. So nice one. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for being on the show. That's easy.